Okay, I have now either typed this information in or copied it into Excel. I need to do some adjustments. You need to update your dates, obviously, for this spring, this fall, spring 2018, 2018 fall. Okay, if I am going to take 3 classes, biology, chemistry, computer science, maybe a C++ class, whatever. Let's say I'm going to take 3 courses. Some of those courses will be 3-hour courses. Some of those courses may be 4-hour courses. Okay, let's assuming that I have 2 3-hour courses and 1 4-hour courses, so I'm taking 10 credit hours. Okay, I now need to determine my tuition. What would my tuition be? Well, this may depend on whether you're an in-state, out-of-state, in-district, out-of-country, but for most of us, the tuition is going to be $54 or $59. I don't remember the amount. We are supposed to put the amount in B11. I'm just going to say 59. I'm going to make you look it up. Okay, why are we putting that in B59? I mean in B11. The reason is because this number can change over time. Let's say next year tuition goes up to 65. Rather than change all my formulas in this worksheet, I only have to change the 65 here. So here's how we're going to calculate your tuition. We're going to take the number of hours, that's what our tuition is based on. That is in row B and column 4. So I'm going to use what we call a cell reference. First off, all formulas start with an equal sign. Okay, we're going to say B4. You'll notice that the B4 is now highlighted. I am going to multiply that, and I'm going to multiply it by this B11. I want to multiply it by the $59. So I'm going to say B11. I can do that for every single column. I just want you to know that there's also something called an absolute reference. If we put in a dollar sign here, it's very hard to do one-handed, sorry. A dollar sign here, that is an absolute reference. That means it's always going to choose B. And I'm also going to put a dollar sign in front of the 11. And again, that's an absolute cell reference. What that means is that when I drag this over 1, I don't have to retype my formula. It's automatically updated so that it says equals C4 instead of B, but it's kept the B11 because those dollar signs say don't change it. We want B11. And if I click on this, you notice it's still dividing by this, or multiplying by this, and it's now trying to multiply by this empty field. So let's say, by the way, if you ever get those running things around the edge, you can kill them by hitting the escape key. We call them ants. But anyway, okay, so we have a number of courses. Let's say I'm only going to take 2 in the fall because I know that my workload's going to be harder. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 6 in here. And now when I hit return, notice that it automatically calculated for me my tuition. Okay, you can also drag this all the way across. If you did not use these absolute reference right there with those signs, you're going to have to type B11 in every single cell. Okay, my books. Let's just go ahead and say books are probably going to be, I'm going to start with an equals. They're probably going to be about $100. You can go ahead, maybe if you're taking other kinds, it's going to be $125, whatever. I'm going to multiply that, shift asterisk, times however many courses I'm taking. That's correct. So I'm going to just select this. Notice it automatically filled in B3. Okay, I could have typed that in as well. So you can always feel free to type your formula in, or sometimes you can go ahead and use Excel Select to do that. Okay, so if my books stay at $100 per every 2 courses I take, now it's calculated, it says it's only $200. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to fill this in. I'm going to take 3 classes. This time, it's only 9 credit hours. In the fall, I'm going to go ahead and take 4 classes and just finish up. This is actually supposed to be something you do for you that actually would be helpful to you to try and sort of see how much it's going to cost and help you budget. Notice it's now $708 for that and for the books. We're going to go ahead and do our totals. I want to go ahead and sum. So I'm going to come over here. This is my sum. Click on this little thing right there. You see your sum. We're going to add, and it automatically assumes I want to go across. If it didn't, you can choose this by just selecting and dragging. I have 12. I'm going to go ahead now and just drag this down. Every single one of these is going to go ahead, the sum B4 to E4, this one's B5 to E5. The rows are increasing. Excel tries to do a lot of the work for you. I also want to do my average. So come up here, same thing, below sum, you're going to see average. Click your average. Now, it wants to do all of these, but I really just want the average of these. I don't want to include the total in my average. That would be silly. So hit return. My average number of courses was 3. I can do the average again here, or I can just drag this down. There's all my averages. My average tuition, my average number of hours, my average cost for books. Okay, transportation. Notice my formatting isn't quite the same here. I can change that. We'll fix that later. All I have to do, if I want to do this, you can change the formatting to whatever this is, which is inherit and 10, or I can copy, and when I come to transportation, if you right-click with your mouse, you're going to see I have some options. I can do just the values. I want the formatting copied because I like the word transportation. It's just the wrong format. Okay, now in order to decide to make this so that everything appears on one line, there's a couple of options. The easiest one is just drag this. Okay, now it's long enough I can see transportation. Okay, I could also do this. Highlight them all and double click in between here, and they will automatically go as big as I want them. This one expanded enough to leave my title on here. Not necessarily what I want, because we're going to center that. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's take our title. We're going to select the entire thing across. We're going to come up here, and we're going to find our merge and center, which is right here. On this particular screen, I don't have my the verbs, the descriptions turned on. It's too small. You can fix that and change that, but we'll just do this. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is this has to be 16 font. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make it 16. I could have also just typed 16 in this box. Or I could have used my what we call my grow button. And my grow button basically keeps growing until I get to 16. We're also supposed to make it bold. So here's your B, make it bold. Change the color. Well, here's my font colors. Pick a color that's at least dark enough that you can read. Okay. This is going to change anyway because we're going to pick a theme. But let's do that in a little bit. We're going to do our transportation. And let's say my transportation costs are, maybe you buy a bus pass and it's a set amount every month. Then you'd just have to multiply the number of months times the cost of your bus pass. If this is mileage, you're probably going to go 0.5, which is 50 cents. I can even type 0.50, but you'll see in a minute it's going to go away. It drops the 0. Times however many miles I travel to my house. I live 9 miles away, so to and from would be 18 miles. And then the last one, you'd go times 16 weeks of school, right? Unless you're taking a flex term. And then I'm also going to multiply by how many days a week I travel. Well, maybe I only come to school 3 days a week. So there you have it. And I forgot the equal sign. That's not a problem. Just come up here and put your equal sign. Remember, all formulas have to start with an equals. Okay, so I now have $432. This is going to be consistent across the semesters. Okay, so if I drag it. Now, maybe when I'm taking 2 classes, maybe I'm not going to come to school 3 days a week. Maybe I'm only going to come 2 days a week. Again, it's easiest to edit these up here in the formula bar. Okay, come back down here. You'll notice now I only had $288. Let's go ahead and drag our sum and our average. I'm going to do them both at the same time. Just drag my formulas down. If you want to type them in, feel free. I'm summing B7 to E7. Okay. This is going to be my average, $396 a semester. Okay, I want to comment. So when you do your transportation, they're asking you to do a comment box. We're going to right click and we're going to get a menu, and up down here, you're going to see it's fairly lengthy, it's towards the bottom. Hit insert comment. Okay, my comment is going to be, mileage, let's see, cost per mile, which is 50 cents. You're going to put in whatever it is, times, number of days, and times, I'm shortening this, times days, number of days, number of miles, and then times week, right? I'm just showing you all the different ways we can write time. So bottom line is, whatever message you put in there, do it. When you click away, you'll notice there's this tiny little red mark. When I hover over this, it's going to give me the explanation. That's how I got my calculation. That's what these numbers all stand for. My cost per mile times my number of miles times number of weeks times how many days per week I actually attend school. Okay, so that's going to be in my little comment box. Other might be things like childcare, supplies like maybe I have to buy a computer, maybe I have to buy pens and paper, whatever other expenses you incur. And then we're going to total this. I'm going to skip this line for now, just in the interest of time. You get to figure that one out. Okay, again, I'm going to sum. And notice I can, again, just drag this across. Okay. Now these, we want to actually make sure we get the right amount here. So this is 0 because I don't have anything here, but I'm not going to worry about that. The next thing I want to make sure is that these are actually formatted by dollars. We're not going to include our number of courses. That's not a dollar amount. Neither are hours. These are the only expenses that I have. So once I've selected them, and you can do this a box at a time if you need to, make sure you're in the Home tab. Come over here and find where it says General or whatever it says, and we're going to change the type to Currency. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a table format. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I want to format this as a table, but I want to pick the part that I want formatted first. I'm going to exclude my title for now and this little 59 down here, and I am going to format as my table, and I kind of like blue, so I'm going to go with that one. Okay. and it automatically kind of formatted this nicely for me. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is do my chart really quickly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to exclude courses and hours. We don't want to select those. We don't want our totals. Well, actually, I think they did select totals, so we'll go ahead and select totals. And we're going to go ahead and select other, even though I'm not going to have any information in there. Okay, we're going to come over and we're going to hit the Insert tab up here, right next to the Home tab. And what I want to insert is a chart, and here's all the charts. I'm going to take my wonderful little pie chart, and I'm going to click on my pie chart, and there it came. And you might want to pick a theme for your pie chart, one of these. This isn't actually a theme. I'll tell you the difference later. Okay, now it came up, and it's got the percents, where I'm spending my money. I'm going to I like to go to quick layouts. I know it's not in your notes, but that's kind of where I like to go. And then pick one that I think is pretty. It's not going to matter much, just hold on. Okay, my chart title is going to be obviously college. You know, worksheet breakdown. So just do college cost worksheet or whatever it tells you. I think it actually has it a little different. College cost breakdown, I think, is what they've asked us to name this. Please make sure you use capital letters at the beginning of each word. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm typing one-handed. Okay, so there you have your college cost breakdown. Okay, they wanted you to now go in, right-click, select data. If you don't see this drop-down menu when you right-click, it's because you haven't selected the chart. If I'm outside the chart and I do it, it's not going to appear. If I'm inside the chart, clicked on it, it's going to let me select the data. Okay, what they want you to do is unclick. We only want to keep the last one, series 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're just going to base this on our totals. Hit OK. And if you notice, and now we're going to drag this, by the way, below the chart. If you notice right now, when I hit select data now I'm only finding the totals column and my titles over here. So that's how we do this. One of the last things we're going to do is pick a theme. So come over here. I got to remember where it is. Is it page layout? Yeah, it's under page layout. We're going to pick a theme. And here's some options, and I kind of like these colors. If you don't like those colors, notice it automatically changed your color types on your chart. We can also go and pick themes. Let me do a darker blue. Okay, whatever theme you want, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so just notice that it's going to change some things on you. Okay. You can change whatever the formatting of these, but we're pretty much done. I can't think of anything I didn't put in there. Remember to do your comments on your other. Tell us what that's for, so right-click and add that as well. We've got our font size. There might be a few little things I left out, so be sure you read the directions carefully. Make sure everything is there. Hopefully this helped you. Bye.